Hello, my dear Cancer tribe. So, as I was starting to get ready for your reading, the song that I heard was Love, Look at the Two of Us. And that's an old song from when I was a kid, 1971, from the Carpenters. And the words are Love, look at the two of us, strangers in many ways. We've got a lifetime to share, so much to say, and as we go from day to day, and it goes on. The point of this, I think, for me, as I was reading that, it was like, is this a love reading? And in a way, it is a love reading. And for some of you, it might be very specifically about having met someone. But what I feel it's more about is your ability to let love into your life, Cancers. This, as I started pulling the cards, I was going, this makes perfect sense to me. Because we know, Cancers, that you've been on an expansive upswing in terms of how you see yourself in your life, in the world around you, and how you're allowing yourself to start experiencing emotions in a different way. That so much of your life has often been taking care of the people you love, and sometimes in ways that did not allow you to really receive love back. Because often what you chose, what you attracted, were people who wanted you to be of service to them in some way, more so than they wanted to actually be partners with you and share the responsibility, the emotional work that's necessary in a relationship. So sometimes what that led to was such an imbalance where it sometimes left you feeling betrayed, because on some level you couldn't comprehend, I think, for many of you, the fact that you could love someone so much and offer so much to them, and that they would not want to reciprocate, because your sense of loving, your open-heartedness towards people became something that was your standard. It was what you expected. It took you probably at least a couple of hits to realize that people didn't think and feel the way you did, or to the depth that you did. There's also the reality that it's so much easier to be concerned about taking care of other people and handling other people's emotions instead of dealing with your own. So sometimes that's why we can keep attracting people who are needing our emotional support or needing us to do the emotional work in a love relationship. But it ends up being kind of a service situation in a way. And while we are all in service to each other in some way or another, now that you have grown, things have changed. Now that you have started to understand yourself better, you have a different concept of who you are, what you're capable of, that your abilities and your gifts go beyond just being there for people. You are now, that's better. You are now able to kind of see yourself in a different light and allow for the possibility of love to come into your life. It really is, what I'm getting with this reading, Cancer, is if you have any issues of betrayal that are left, that are holding you back, this might be one of the things that are holding you back from inviting love into your life. It can be that kind of expectation that the same thing's going to happen again. So there are two things that you're being asked to look at here. One is, if you didn't take it personally, that those people were only able to do what they did based on who they were, rather than so much about who you were, would it hurt so much? The second is, can you be accountable? Can you take responsibility for having let that happen? For having not set boundaries when you felt uncomfortable? For not having pushed back when you felt pushed against in not a good way or rejected? Did you challenge it before it all blew up in your face, or before somebody snuck away? The thing about this, I think, Cancer, is it's really asking you to look at love in a new way, because you've changed. Your foundation of who you think you are has been in the process of changing quite dramatically over the last, well, really the last 3 months, but I would say the last 16 months really strongly. There's been a lot of insight that has come in for you about what you want and what you deserve and who you are. And so now when you look back, you're being told when you look back over old situations that you've lived that cause you to feel a fear of betrayal, look at who you were then. Look at what your personality, your behaviors or attitudes, your fears caused you to choose and stay in for whatever reason. And recognize now, like really literally take stock of who you are now as opposed to who you were then. And say, yeah, that's not what I want? Well, part of the reason that I'm going to be different now is because I can literally say it's not what I want. You don't want to be betrayed, but you also don't want to be in a relationship where you are subjugating yourself, where you are diminishing your own personality, where you are not speaking your voice, where you are not getting your needs met because of being too timid or too fearful of conflict. You're also now willing more to face your own personal emotions, which is what relationships so cheerfully do for us, if we let them. So, you are being asked, trust that even if it feels as though you might be treading towards doing things the old way, change it up, do it differently. If your first thought, for example, was on a date to cook somebody's supper, back off. Let them do something for you, right? Because a lot of the social conditioning or the social conditioning that we do comes out of old stuff. So now you got to change it up, clear and clean. It's like out with the old, in with the new. How are you going to do this differently? And it's a good thing to catch yourself on that social conditioning that was based on the old way of seeing yourself, because a lot of that tends to carry with it the same boundaries that you had in the past. And what you want now is new boundaries. How do you know you're creating a boundary? Time and space. Don't chase after something. Let it come to you as well, right? Don't always be the one to accommodate and make space for something to happen. Let the other person be also involved in doing that, because that's how you decide. That's how you let people triage themselves out of your life if they're not willing to be that way with you, if it's not natural for them to do it, right? You don't need to chase after anybody. Right, Cancer? Right. You don't have to always take care of it. So look out for falling into that caretaking role with people. And and here, there is another me watching me. When you find yourself starting to slip into some of those old things, go, wait a minute, okay, there's a wise part of me that's watching this that is kind of going, you doing it again, Cancer? What do you want to do different now? Okay, and humor. Keep humor about it, all right? This is learning times, my dears. Learning times indeed. And they are rich times, and they can be wonderful times. So the first thing is, please don't panic. If you find love coming into your life, or if you're wanting love coming into your life, understand that you are new, who you are attracting and who you're able to have is different. And I won't repeat myself now, although I really want to, because I feel, Cancer, the reason this is coming up is because it's ready for you to start experiencing this in your life. Love. The kind of love that is a partnership. The kind of love that can last a lifetime. The kind of love that is, let's take a lifetime to say I knew you well. Now, listen, Cancers, for some of you, this may not be in relation to another person. This may be in relation to you loving you. So you take this the way it fits, okay? But it's all good. Take care.